Okay, hey everybody, my name is Zach Paget, and we are back again with another episode of You Are Not Creative, and today we have Reese Myers, a local model from Orlando, Florida.
Hey guys, what's up?
So, I'm going to start asking a couple questions. So, you're a model. How did you get into that?
Basically, I don't know, I would just have fun with my friends that had cameras for Christmas presents and birthday presents, and I was just kind of their test subject, and I would post those on my Instagram.
Of course.
I probably was a freshman, and people would be like, "Oh, Reese, you're such a model," or "Oh my god, are you a model?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I wish," in my dreams, and then
But now you're doing it,
Yeah, I know.
That's
that
awesome.
It's so crazy, and yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's always been in my head, just thinking oh, I wish I could be a model. I wish I could do this. But, and then I don't know how, but I just had this feeling that I could do it for real, And since the new year started, the first day of 2018, I knew this was going to be my year.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
and then I started going to all of these networking events and meeting a bunch of different photographers and different models, and
Yeah,
I just got I kind of just introduced myself to the community, and then
Yeah.
I guess that's just kind of how it flourished from there.
So you're talking about those networking events. So you mean the Instagram meetups and stuff like that? Or
Not just Instagram meetups, but people that own studios.
Okay.
Yeah, they usually host events for just everyone that's creative, or makeup artists and cinematographers and content creators and models and photographers, everyone and anyone in that realm of things like that.
Okay, so just
they
really
all
just
come
creative
together.
people.
Yeah, and so basically they have all of the lighting set up, they have all the backdrops set up, and everyone just comes and meet each other, and usually a photographer comes up to you and asks to take pictures of you, or you go up to a photographer and say, "Hey, do you mind
Right.
working with me?"
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just very beneficial for both the model and the photographer, because if the model really likes the photographer, they usually go to them in the future, and they usually
course.
pay the photographer.
Yeah.
And for the model, you get so much exposure from that.
Exactly,
Yeah, and it's such a great
Yeah.
start for anyone that's getting into it, or even if you have already been in the industry for such a long time, it's always a good thing to network with people.
Yeah, and you kind of just jumped to the next thing I was going to ask, and I have written down the relationships between models and photographers. On the first episode we talked about that, and me and you have shot together before.
Oh
so,
yeah, that was a great shoot.
Yeah, so we definitely have we had the basis of what how each other work. So to you it's kind of something that no one really talks about or no one really thinks about,
Yeah.
is the relationship that goes on, the chemistry. Because Alex didn't know he's a graphic designer. He's not a photographer. So he didn't realize that there's the model also has a creative vision.
Yes.
So
Oh my
when
gosh.
you're going into a shoot, what is something that you think of? How do you think as far as your vision?
Yeah.
And then how do you work that out with the photographer?
It's interesting that you say that most people don't think about it, because I've been doing this as a professional thing for a short amount of time, maybe a few months.
Right.
But I was always interested in the industry for a while, But that's the first thing that I think about, is the relationship between me and the photographer. And usually I understand that the photographer has a vision, and I want to fulfill that as a model because I'm working for them, especially when they come up to me. But if I'm going up to a photographer,
Right.
and I have a vision, I expect them to kind of help me with that, because
Yeah,
that's what I
especially
want in my
if you're
portfolio.
Yeah.
And it depends, because if you and the photographer already have a great connection and you guys just hit it off, then usually it's nobody pays, you just kind of work together, and you
Right,
have
that's
work
how it
for
works,
your
yeah.
portfolios for both sides. And yeah, you make a friendship out of that. But sometimes it's kind of weird. Sometimes they'll still charge you, especially if you're going up to the photographer. And I noticed that photographers, they do they work really hard. And
Thank you.
yeah, no, of course, yeah, I mean, it's true. They really try hard to make the vision as best as it can
Right.
be executed.
Exactly.
And and I think people kind of forget that, and they also kind of forget that models especially like if they're really serious about modeling. You know, some people just want good pictures and that's it. They're not really just, like, models.
Post them on Instagram, right?
Yeah, and so. But here's where it gets like controversial in a way. You know, models they work really hard too, and you know they're in the shoot for hours. You know, it can be like a whole day. When you're doing a photo shoot, it's hours.
Yeah, and we live in Florida. It's hot.
It's hot. Even in the studio with the lights.
Oh, yeah. I did a studio shoot and I was sweating behind the lights. Yeah,
and especially when you mentioned the photographer having a vision and you're trying to fulfill that. You know, I've had an experience where it was a great guy, you know.
Right.
He was amazing to talk to. He was really friendly. But as kind of like a director, it was really hard to satisfy him because me as a person, I couldn't create his vision.
Right.
And, you know, the pictures still turned out great. They were beautiful.
Of course, yeah.
But it's just not what he wanted. Like, he wanted, like, evil, mysterious, like, super, you know, dark. Yeah, okay. And I'm not that. Like, I can be a little edgy, but I'm more soft and, you know, bubbly.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do what he... Like, he wanted me to, like, squint my eyes and, like... And I felt stupid. I was like, do I look good or do I look stupid? And so I couldn't do it. And, like, he just kept saying, like, oh, you know, I'm not satisfied with any of these. And, you know, I know what he meant, but I took that to heart because that was the first time a photographer wasn't satisfied with the pictures.
And you can't blame that on yourself. You know?
Yeah, and oh my God, I cried. Like, I broke down. And, like, I took off all my makeup. I was like, you know what? That's not who I am. I'm just going to do me. And then he was like, okay, let's just work together.
That's when you'll get the best content.
Yeah, and we took so many pictures that night.
Yeah.
Like, I was there for hours, and I got back maybe, like, 3 pictures.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, like 3 pictures. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure there was a lot more that were fantastic.
I'm sure, yeah.
But it's just wasn't his vision, so it's really hard to... You know.
And the thing about that is, as a photographer, when you have a style, you need to reach out to people, to models that have that look you're going for.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he thought I could do that, you know, because my profile and my portfolio is very diverse.
Right, yeah.
So he probably saw some pictures that were kind of what he wanted. But yeah, I definitely agree. Photographers, when they look for models, it can't be just anyone because models have personalities too. They're
not just like things
objects.
The meat that you just pose. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely agree.
Because like as a photographer, I'll go around and like I've shot since I moved here. I think I've shot with like 12 different models, if not more. And like now I'm like I have a friendship with 12 different models.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is one of like my favorite things. Cause I always have people to pick from. You know.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah,
if I have something I want to go for, then like I have all these people to choose from, and then these people have friends who will tell them about me. You know, so I think like as far as networking goes, the relationship is crucial because for them to grow, we each have our own like.
Yeah, that's what I love about the industry because it's not like one of those office jobs where it's the same people all the time and you get irritated with them sometimes, or like you only stick with the same like 2 people because, you know, I had an internship like in an office, you know, and I kind of saw that. But it's like in this industry where you just work with so many like different kinds of people, like you'll never know who you're gonna come across, and you'll never know like what you're gonna learn from that. Like with that one experience, like it kind of sucked, but I learned so much from it to the point where like now if I have a photographer that really has a vision, I know like I can tell myself like, hey, it's okay if you can't create that vision, but now I know how to address it next time instead of like crying and breaking down, you know. I can just be like, okay. Yeah, I can just be like, okay, I can just tell him that it's just not working out and maybe we can do something else. But yeah.
Do you have any input over there?
Well, like you mentioned, I'm not a photographer, so I can't really relate to what you're talking about. But I'm gonna be honest, I've been waiting for you to try that drink the whole time.
Oh yeah, the LaCroix.
Yeah,
I've heard that this is supposed to be like very fancy. Like I saw this YouTube video of this guy like mixing like waters together, and he used this one, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I never tried that. I never tried like sparkling water before, so
most people don't like it, but
really,
we'll see. Depends how fancy you are.
I despise it personally.
Okay, like I think it's gonna be soda, but it just tastes very bland.
What did you say? It tastes
I mean,
it's not.
It's not bad.
It's like people have said that if like you have Sprite Like you take a cup of Sprite, and then someone eats a fruit salad and then burps into it. That's what.
Oh my god! I mean,
which if you think about it, yeah, but, and it's definitely an acquired taste. Like I've been drinking it for years, so this shit is squeaky. I'm sure.
It tastes like you're drinking water, and someone from the other room yelled out a fruit.
The other name of fruit, and it just pops in your head. You're like, oh. Passion fruit.
Hey LaCroix, if you're listening to this podcast, do you want to sponsor us? Hit us up.
I don't like bashing it, but I drink it daily, so.
How do you drink this daily? Like, why? Like, why do you prefer this over other stuff?
Here's what. One, it's healthy, and like it's like completely like
does it hydrate you the same way water does?
I mean, I drink like 3 a day, so.
Oh my god, that's me with coffee. Oh my god.
Yeah, that too. It balances out my coffee, my caffeine intake, but actually,
it has like no calories, no fat, no anything.
Exactly.
And it's still flavored.
I mean,
that's weird.
Slightly.
I mean,
I love it. Like I love it. It's not super strong.
Yeah. No, I can imagine why people like would want to drink this just to feel fancy.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm like better than everyone else when I have a cool in my car. But I actually started drinking it because there's this YouTuber named Sarah Dietschy, and she like drinks it all the time. And I had the biggest crush on this girl.
Oh my god!
And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna force myself to like this drink. But actually, I drank it at first. I didn't really.
It's crazy how like people on like social media platforms like influence you that way, and that's kind of how I got into modeling too. Like, there has been models that have like that broke that stereotype of you needed to like look a certain way to model and to be happy with yourself. Right. But then I saw that on Instagram, that that's changing. Like people have like more curves or people that just aren't that standard in the beauty world. Like and so that made me feel so much better because they looked happy, and all I wanted to do was just be happy. And when I felt that, I was like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Right.
And I started to express myself more on social media, and people like loved it.
Yeah,
and people related to me, and people told me, they were saying how they were inspired by me. And I was like, wow, I found my purpose finally. Like it's to inspire people. And if this is if this is how I can inspire people, then why not keep doing it?
100%. Yeah.
And it's not like you have to be like a famous model, like you don't have to be like Kendall Jenner. And it's it's all about like building a community.
Especially since it's like a creative outlet. It's like you want to. It's not how much you know. It's who you know.
Oh like, yeah, for sure.
You gotta build a big network. Of people
and it's like some of these models. Like I wish I could just like give them advice from like what I've experienced with photographers that I've worked with, because like some of these girls are just so like, I don't want to say desperate, but they're trying so hard to build their portfolio. They don't care who they work with. And I've seen this one photographer, and honestly, like, he's just a joke. Like, I'm spilling tea. Like, his pictures were horrible. They weren't, it didn't look like, honestly, like, the pictures were just not professional, and they just looked like they were taken on an iPhone 7, like,
you'll have that.
And they seemed like, I don't mind, like, people, like, showing their bodies and stuff, but it was just, like, to the point where it was ratchet. Like, if you're gonna go for that risque type of look like you're, look expensive. And that's what that one photographer told me, the one that made me cry. He was like, I want to make you look expensive. And that's what he did.
That's a good.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I'm going to live by that. But I saw these girls, and one of them I knew personally before, and I was just like, you can work with a lot of different people that are so much better. And he was like annoying me in my DMs, and I was like, no, decline, I don't want to work with you. And so he finally commented on one of my recent posts. He was like, oh, I sent you a message, you look great in this. And I commented back, I was like, look, you seem like an amateur photographer, and I've already worked with so many professional.
It's
like I'm not trying to like degrade you. I'm just trying to say, like, if you want to work with someone that's already worked with professionals, you're gonna have to either step up your game or pay me. And so and there has been a photographer that's paid me $100 an hour for a shoot. And I thought that was great. And so I told him, I was like, this is my rate because this is what other photographers has paid me in the past.
Exactly.
And so, what he said after that, he was like, well, I decided to part ways in this project. Good luck to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? That just translates to I'm broke and I can't afford you.
Yeah, It's one thing to be broke because I'm.
And that's why, I don't.
Joke, but
I'm broke too. Hell, I mean, I don't even have like a job. I don't work at a restaurant. I don't work at a, and I've tried applying to places and they don't call me back, or they just said like, oh, we're not hiring you, Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a sign that like I'm supposed to be paid to model, I guess,
and it's my thing is like now I'm in film school, and so I never want to work a part-time job again. That if I agree. Go the rest of my life without working a part-time job, I'm happy.
Yeah, and it's honestly what makes you happy, and I don't blame people for just working part-time jobs or doing what you need to make money, and that makes you happy to be financially stable. It's all about what makes you happy in the end.
And
it really does.
You have to get started. Like I used to work at Target. I've worked at nursing homes.
I would love to work at Target, dude. You know how much fun I'd have? I love Target.
I was in the tech department, so I literally had to sit behind the counter, and it was like my job was to help people with phones. So it wasn't even like I was working with electronics. I was like a contracted company.
Oh, wow.
Black Target shirt.
Okay.
So the only people that came, I'd have like one or two like old people come in a day, if that.
That's cute.
Yeah,
I love old
I'd
people.
help them with their phones. It was nice. It was cool to help them. But at the same time, I was sitting there for 11 hours a day. Just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have written down here. What is like one of the worst experiences you've had with a photographer?
Ooh.
All right. I feel like you have something juicy. And don't hold back. If you don't have to say any names, you can like tell me afterwards. You don't have to say any names.
Yo. Okay, so if y'all are listening to this and you added me on Snapchat like maybe a month ago, y'all know this story if you didn't like tap through my snaps, because I did a full rant about this because it pissed me off so much. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna say any names. Okay, all right. Okay, so I just did a shoot in Ocoee, right? Mm-hmm. And I was driving back home, and I basically live like 10 minutes away from downtown Orlando.
Right.
And so there was this group of people that wanted to do this last-minute shootout in downtown. Mm-hmm. And, I was about to pass downtown on the highway, on the 408. Mm-hmm. And so they texted me, they were like, hey, like, do you want to come? I was like, well, I'm kind of tired, but I guess, I can do the hustle. Ooh, yes. And so, oh my gosh. So, wow. Oh my God. So I go because, I want to put in all of the work that I can.
Right. Build it.
Yeah. And it's all about pushing yourself. Is like working out, you think you're tired, but you're like, wait, no, I have this little bit of energy left. Let me use it.
We missed the gym today, by the way.
Oh, man. So I go to downtown, and I find parking, and I'm at, like, the other side of Lake Eola. And you know how big Lake Eola is. Like, on the other side of Lake Eola, that's where, like, the library is. Yeah. And they were at the library.
That's, like, downtown.
Mm-hmm, that's downtown. And so, I was like, hey, like, I'm here. I know I'm a little late, but it's going to take me about 10 minutes to walk there. And they were like, well, by then we're going to be at the next location. And I was like, oh, so where are y'all going to be? And they were like, I don't know. And then I was like, like, it's okay. We can just reschedule. I can just go home. Like, it's fine. And then one of the guys from the group was like, hey, call me. And then so I called him, and he was like, hey, like, I really want to work with you. Just meet us at the History Center and we'll work together. And I was like, okay, fine. So I find a different parking spot closer to the History Center, and oh my God, that was so hard.
Yeah, of course.
I hate parking in downtown, like, oh my God. And so I finally meet them there. Everyone was super nice. Everyone was nice. Like, I had no problems. And I worked with the guy for a little bit at this like staircase thing, like near like a red brick wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture actually of the location.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we were there. We were actually trying to shoot there, but there was like
a lot of people walking around.
Yeah, and like we didn't want to get kicked out. Yeah. And so we took a few shots there, and then we went to the next location with all these like pretty lights. Oh my gosh, like I love that. It's near like you know that place with that huge
trees.
banner?
Yeah. Okay, so we were taking pictures like in those trees. It was like right across the street.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That place. And so I was working there with a different photographer. And after that, I got kind of tired. So I was about to walk to the next location, but then I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I want to go home. And then so I went home, And then a couple of weeks passed by, and the other models got their pictures, but me. And I was like, am I the last person that they're editing or something? So, I gave the guy a DM. I was like, hey, like, what's up with the pictures? Just asking, just chilling. And he was like, oh, well, I'm just kind of busy with school. And I was like, oh, yeah, I get that. School comes first. Grades come first. And so I was just chilling for about a week or something like that. And I DM'd him again. I was like, hey, like, if it's just easier for you, if it's faster for you to just send me the raw pictures, like, unedited, you can do that. Like, I can edit my own pictures. Yeah. And oh my God, you know what he says? He was like, I actually don't have a laptop or a computer to upload the pictures. I was like, how are you, okay, listen, how are you going to go out of your own way to take pictures of someone and know you don't have a way to upload them? That's just wasting your own time. And then he was like, oh, well, it's just for fun. And then I was like, just for fun?
How much fun is it to take pictures and not see your own pictures?
Exactly. And like, everyone tries to get a job that is fun.
Exactly.
Like, no one wants to do a job that they hate, but they expect money from it, or they expect some type of result from it.
Right, exactly.
Like, you don't put in work and then expect nothing. I mean, if you're volunteering, that's different. But you're also seeing an outcome. You're seeing a difference.
You get something from it.
I was not seeing anything. Nothing. I was receiving nothing. And so I was just like, okay. And this kid is actually a model. He's a pretty talented model. Okay. He already has like a fan, like someone has an account for him, like a fan account of him.
Actually?
Yeah. I was like, really? Okay. You're not special.
He made his own.
That's what I was thinking. That was, oh my God, I was like low-key thinking that, but I don't know, maybe not. But
I'd do it.
Yeah, and then so I was just like irritated at that point, and I think he knew that I was like mad. I don't know what he said exactly, but like I just kind of sensed that he knew that I wasn't happy. And then so, oh my God, so I added the other photographer that I worked with in the lights on my Snapchat, not realizing that. And so I ranted about that on my Snap. And then so he replies to one of my snaps. He was like, oh, isn't this about blank, like his name? And I was like, yeah, definitely. And then like a few days or a week after that, I finally got the pictures from him.
Yeah, were they edited?
Yeah, they were edited. And he was like, no, he texted me. He was like, hey, I have something for you. And then I was like, oh my God, what? And then so he sends me the pictures, and I was like, oh, thanks. And by the way, I'm sorry about all the trouble and everything. And he was like, yeah, we're all good. But I'm not working with him ever again. I'll work with the other guy, because the other guy was so good. Yeah. Like, he's amazing. He's probably one of the best photographers. Like, you're talented too. Like, I have 3 top photographers in my list right now. Okay. Like, they're amazing. But yeah, that was just insane. Like, how are you gonna...
Yeah.
And then oh my God, the first networking event that I've been to, and the first photographer that I worked with there, he needed me to like use like a prop. It was just like fake money, you know? Okay. And I was on this couch, and like he wanted me to throw it up in the air, and it was pretty cute. Like the pictures were awesome. And then he was like, okay, give me your number and email, and I'll send the pictures to you. Oh my God, the same thing basically happened, but I never get the pictures, and it's been months. It's been 4 months. Oh my God. Yeah, but my other friend got pictures from him, so I'm just like, why me? Why? What did I do to deserve this? But, it's all good. It's great. It's a great time.
I can never do that to somebody. I mean, one time, okay, I don't know if this is bad or not. So, there was a 407 Insta meet or whatever, if you don't like to look for it.
You saw me make a face. I mean, I just always expect it to taste like soda. It never does.
Yeah.
It never does.
You'll get used to it if you just force it.
Oh yeah, but the 407 meetup, yeah, I love them.
Wait, I went to the first one. Did you go to the first one?
I've never been to the meetup, but I know the photographer, Alex.
Yeah.
He's great. Shout out to Alex. Yeah, cool. You're amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was there, and then there was a girl named, or you know, Regal Jason on Instagram.
I think so. Yes.
He's like the guy with like the tall like hair.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Really good.
He's awesome.
He's like a singer. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
But so his roommate was there, Sherry Holiday. And,
yeah. I follow her. She's so pretty.
Yeah. So I like, it was like towards the end of the shoot, and she was there, and I like took a couple of headshots of her. Like I literally have 3 of them. They're still on my phone, but they're like nothing special. And I took like 3 or 4 headshots, and like I didn't send them to her. I don't know if like I should have, because like I'll show you the pictures right now, and I'll see if you can tell me. But I don't like, it's not something that she would post or not good pictures. I literally just like took them because like she was kind of standing there. I was like, "Hey, you want to shoot?" And she was like, "Sure." And I almost deleted them today. Now that I'm thinking about it, I literally almost deleted them today. So like, it was like literally just like these. You know?
Oh, those are pretty. Ooh.
So like it was like nothing special.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I could still send them to her. I could send them to her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Should I send them to her right now?
You can. Wait, how long ago was that?
Let me see. How do you see like the details?
I'm just trying to not have like the silence for like the listeners.
I'll cut it out.
Oh, okay. Bet.
That's why it's not live, so I can get used to stuff like this.
Okay, bet.
Wow, look for this. Jesus. Throw anything into the mic.
Alright.
February 4th, sorry, is the top of it.
Wait, and she still hasn't gotten those pictures?
It's just like 2 of them. I didn't think she like knows about them.
Oh.
You know what?
Oh.
That's
If you send those to her, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like, dude, what?
where did you take pictures of me?
Alright, so in your opinion, do you think any girl can be a model?
I honestly think so, but you know what? I think that's a weird question, because like that one photographer that I was like throwing shade at, you know, the one that's like not professional at all. There's nothing wrong with the girls that he chose. It was just that like I don't think they were comfortable, and I don't think they knew how to like really pose. So I mean, yeah, I think any girl can model. You know, you don't have to like look a certain way. It's just like, you know, some agencies, some companies, they look for a specific look. That's true, because they're shady and they're like ignorant and arrogant and they're closed-minded. But if you know you look a certain way, try and model for what's looking for you. You know, like you know, for me, I would love to model for like Target and like American Eagle and Aerie, you know, because they look for diverse girls, because I know I'm not the skinniest girl in the world, and you know, I understand that like I don't have the body that everyone wants, so you know, I try and go for them, and I try and go for companies and agencies that don't care. And you know, a lot of agencies sometimes, you know, they might say that they need a girl that's like over like 5'8", you know.
Yeah.
But that's for like, you know, like high-end fashion. That's like for like runways and stuff. But there's a lot of opportunities out there for like commercial and you know, advertisement and like campaigns and catalogs and lifestyle modeling. Yeah. You know, for like magazines and stuff. And yeah, you don't need to look like a Victoria's Secret like model, you know. You can obviously just be yourself, but you also need the coaching, or you just need a lot of experience to understand what photographers are looking for. So I think, yeah, I mean, any girl can model, because, you know, everyone's unique and they should express that, because no one can be you.
Exactly. That's the way to put it.
And yeah, and like photographers are always looking for the next thing that's different, or that's just different. Like they're always looking for something different.
Right.
And if you look like everyone else, no one's gonna see you. No one's gonna notice you, because you just blend in. Yeah. So yeah, I think any girl should go for it if that's what they're passionate about. And if they want to feel confident in themselves, they should go for it, because I feel so much more confident now with the modeling that I've done lately.
Yeah, and I mean now, like, it's just 2018. I will say that because it's important.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is 2018.
Yeah,
like
everyone is comfortable. Like, if you
it's
like
the era of acceptance.
Exactly.
You know.
You're like early 2000s. The models were perfectly skinny, flawless.
And you know what? It's okay if you're skinny too, and if that's your natural body. Like, I'm not shaming that. Like, you know, go you, girl. Like, it's just like every body should be everybody.
Every body.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about diversity nowadays, you know?
Do you remember your first shoot? Like,
My very first shoot. Does it have to be like a professional shoot, or can it just be like a...
Not going out and shooting with somebody you don't
I
know.
actually... so my very, very, like, first shoot, I think I was, like, a freshman, and, you know what, I think I still have it on my Instagram, but I was wearing, like, a white shirt, and, like, I was, at my friend's house. She just got, like, a Canon, and she was, like, testing it, right? And so, I was like, hey, want to take pictures of me? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then, we found, like, a plain white wall. And then so I just turned up the brightness to make it kind of look like it was like one of those like studio white backdrops.
Yeah. Okay.
And it turned out really cool. Hold on, let me show you. Hold on. It was this one.
It looks like
yeah, exactly. And that was like basically almost the first shoot that I did.
That's cool.
And then my very first like professional shoot, I'd say.
Do you qualify a professional like you go out with someone you don't know, or like
I would
like a studio, or?
I would say professional wise, it's someone coming up to you, or you're going up to a professional photographer that has experience.
Right.
So if you're doing it professionally, you know, from my experience, I'd say like a professional shoot is someone that's asking you to do a specific task that is not just for fun. You know, it's like it's a job.
Yeah, like it's a professional shoot. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And then there's like a blurred line.
And I would, yeah, and I have a friend that's a photographer. She's so amazing. Her name's Casey. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Casey if you're listening to this. She would take amazing pictures of me, and I would post them on my Instagram, and they looked more professional. Like, there's a difference between professional shoots and professional looking pictures, you know? And so she gave me that professional kind of look, and I would post them on my Instagram, and that's when people really started asking, like, hey, like, are you a model? Or people will say, oh yeah, she's a model, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, because when you shoot with professional photographers, you become a professional model. At least that's the way that I see it, you know. Mm-hmm. Because you're doing it for a job. It's a profession.
But I think like my actual like, when I did my first professional like shoot like at a studio, it was actually a networking event. My friend Lexi, shout out to you too if you're watching this. Like she's like she's my best friend in this industry. Like we started this together, and we're growing together. And just seeing her like flourish, like I have to show you her Instagram. She's so beautiful. Yeah. But actually, before I started modeling, I was actually really into photography, and I would take pictures of her. Like I was her very first photographer, you know.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how like. Yeah, like I don't know how like I figured out that modeling was more for me, because like I used to be like all for photography. Like I remember my whole dream was to open up my own studio one day and stuff, and that changed. So there's that. But oh my god, where was I going with that? Like, oh yeah, okay, so Lexi was the one that introduced me to that networking event. She was like, hey, want to come to this with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, duh. And like, it was so amazing. Like when I walked in, there was just so many people there, and they were dressed like, oh my gosh, like their outfits were so like colorful, and like they were expressing themselves, and it was like all like fashionista and the vibes were just so like chill.
That's awesome.
And like there was like loud music playing, everyone had like drinks and food, and like photographers were working, there was multiple like backdrops, and that's where I met my favorite makeup artist. Her name is Ty Bella, and oh my god, like I've never had the best makeup in my life. Like I've had multiple people work on my face before, but nobody can ever compare to her. And I'm so sad because I wanted her to do my makeup for prom, but she's not going to be in town. Sad face. Yeah.
What does she do that's different? Like, what makes her like a better makeup?
Okay, this is going to sound like really stupid, but she makes my eye bags like disappear. Like
that doesn't sound stupid. That sounds great.
Yeah, no, but like I've never had that before, and like my eye bags is like my number one like biggest like insecurity, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know what people are worried about.
Yeah, no, they just bother me so much, and like people when they do my makeup, they just put like the foundation on and like that's it. But my like the puffiness of my eyes like keep like showing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she did to make them like flat and just brightened. And oh my god, that was the best makeup day ever, and I will never get that again.
So that was like the first time was she there when you went on to that networking?
Yeah.
Event? Okay.
And that's why networking events are so, like, what's the word? Vital? Or crucial. Yeah, they're so crucial because it's like if you miss out on those networking events, you'll never know who you're going to miss out on.
Exactly.
You know, if I never went to that networking event, I've never would have realized that I wanted to do modeling.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would never have met that amazing makeup artist.
Wow.
And yeah, so if anyone out there really wants to model, go to networking events, search them up. You know, and honestly, yeah, like ask people who own studios because more than likely they do open houses and they do like networking events in their studios.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, actually, really quick, no, like you were talking about like the way models look and stuff like that. I was looking at you, and would you ever like consider like acting? I could see you being on the Disney Channel. You, like,
oh my god!
I could see you being on the Disney Channel show.
I mean, I would try it out for sure. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty expressive.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a personality for it too.
Maybe, yeah, I know. Oh my god, like ever since I was like in elementary school, people would tell me like they could see me in drama in high school, and throughout my whole life until high school, I was like, oh, I want to be in drama so bad, and I never joined drama. Yeah, and then like later in high school, I kind of realized that that was a good thing because it takes up so much time. Like shout out to the ones that are in drama or theater, like shout out to y'all because like y'all take AP classes, y'all stay after school for the longest amount of hours, and it's just like where's the time to sleep, where's the time to breathe, you know? So yeah, I could never do that. I could never do that, but acting itself, maybe if I find the right people.
Right. Well, we're gonna be doing short films.
I always wanted to make a short film. I love short
all
films.
Those drawings on the walls of storyboards for the one we're working
Oh, I just noticed that. That's so cute. I love your whole apartment, guys. You guys listening? I swear to God, his apartment is so cute.
It means so much to me. I work hard on it. A lot of stuff I just like had at home in Indiana and like just brought. Some stuff I bought because I don't know how to like save money. And so it just worked out. You know, it was alright. I think one of my favorite things. Everyone, really quick, pick out your favorite thing in here.
Honestly, when I walked in, I saw like the lights and like all of like the cute little like decorations on the walls, and like when I walked into your like I guess dining area, this is where we're like. This is like the setup for the podcast. Yeah. It's kind of like your office is like right next to the kitchen, but like I saw like the white table and the plant and like it's so cute. I don't know. This is my aesthetic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's so cute. I love it.
What's your favorite thing about my apartment? Let's just sit here.
I saw the lights.
Yeah, the lights.
You're going out. You need to get some.
Especially because I'm looking signal out here.
I love the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good right now.
yeah, you have so many cute things like the guitar and like the uke and the chest thing. Like I love the little things in people's like homes or rooms that like kind of expresses themselves, but it's also like cute. Like it seems like I don't know. It kind of gives me that hipster vibe that like, and it also tells me that you do a lot of activities too.
Do you remember Allison Stoner from Disney Channel?
Oh my god, yes, she's great. I love her.
A lot.
What a queen.
Wait, who is she?
She was the girl from Camp Rock. Yeah. She was just that annoying girl that was like the sidekick, you know. Wasn't she like a really good dancer? In Camp Rock or something. Or she was like the DJ girl. Or was that someone else?
Damn, that sounds like.
She was Brother Dozen. She was in that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do remind me of Allison Stoner.
Oh my god, really? I'm so sorry.
I'm not personality-wise. I don't really remember exactly.
Oh, personality-wise, she was just like. I don't know, she was just annoying. She always annoyed me. She was always the one that like wanted to follow the rules and like she was always like, "Oh, I'm always right." Like, shut up. You're not special. Even though it was scripted and it wasn't really her. I was still screaming at the TV like, "You're not special. Sit down." Like
well, do you have any questions for us?
You know what? I kind of want to like ask like what's your like best and like worst experience like working with models?
Ooh, okay.
I really want to know. I want to know that like thing from like the photographer's like perspective.
Okay.
You know.
So I'll start with the worst.
Oh yes.
And it's really okay. Hold on, I'm gonna need a second. So I mean, obviously, I think my first one would probably be the worst, just because I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay, true.
But like recently, and it's not bad as in like I didn't like this girl or like we didn't like. It's just like when I shoot, like, so first of all, I'm an awkward guy. Like, when we first like met, like, there's like obviously this awkwardness, and as I start shooting, every time I click the shutter, I get like less and less awkward. But there's this person I shot with recently who didn't get less awkward. I just didn't feel comfortable. And I don't think she did either.
Oh my god,
and
I
so
relate.
I didn't really get any good shots, and like I post at least 1 to 2 pictures from every shoot, but I shot like 2 months ago, and I still haven't posted any of these pictures.
Oh yeah.
So no one even knows about this shoot except for me and this girl, I feel like.
Yeah, that's why like before shoots I always like try and like really connect with the photographer like through like DMs or like messaging and stuff
helps.
Because like I have really bad like social anxiety, believe it or not. Like as enthusiastic as I am and like as like extroverted as I am, like when it comes to like meeting new people, I'm always scared about what they think about me. And so like
is normal.
Yeah, and so it really helps messaging with the photographer and just like talking to them. And you don't need to like go deep with them. It's just like you can just friends, you can maybe not like friends, but like friendly. It helps for me if like I'm just talking more about the shoot. Like the more I talk about the shoot, the more like I can kind of like vibe with you because I feel like we've talked enough. Right. Kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird.
It makes sense.
But
I
yeah.
definitely get that.
Yeah,
so
I totally
like,
get that.
On this shoot, like I said, it wasn't anything bad, and like it was a little hard because she's not from America, so it was like a little hard to understand her. Okay. And so it was, I don't know, it just didn't really click that well. But my best shoot, and it's really hard for me to say because like every time I shoot, that shoot is my best shoot. The next one. So let me think. Wow, English.
Yeah, I know. Same.
So I think what I've gotten the best response from. So if like for me, I set like all these goals at the beginning of the year to like be featured by all these like feature accounts or whatever. And so I had this shoot with my friend Nahir, where I like had her use my screen out there, and like, we were just shooting on the porch with like natural light, and then I ended up like bringing out this softbox here and like just shooting casual stuff, and it was actually, I'll show you which one, but like that inspired me to like try shooting in my own house more. And so then I met with this girl named Fallon Williams, who's actually super talented, and I don't know if she like really brands herself as a model, but we went out and like I have this like fabric, it's like a net, like kind of like net sort of thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so this is the girl, this is what like I did with Nahir.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Yeah. Okay.
And then so like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby, which I literally live at Hobby Lobby.
I love Hobby Lobby. I love going into Hobby Lobby because I feel like crafting and
I just, like,
painting. Like I'm not even like an artist, but when I come in to that store, like I all of a sudden feel like I want to become an artist. Yeah, the berets or whatever.
The little apple stem or whatever it is on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then like I shot with this girl and then I shot with Fallon. And
was it one of those like Hobby Lobby challenges like in the flowers?
No, but I did do that. But so I just got like some fabric from there.
And,
like,
that's
shots like
I love that. I love the dramatic like it's simple but it says a lot.
Right.
I love pictures like that.
Yeah, which
it's amazing.
You wouldn't think that she'd be able to pull it off because she's such like an extroverted, like, goofy person,
Yeah.
But she did really good, and I had 2 or 3 pictures from that shoot alone be featured. So you just keep looking at the look.
No, the more I'm sipping on it, the more like I kind of and like I kind of forget that like I'm drinking it. I don't know, like I don't know how to explain
like
it.
Air at some point, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I keep sipping it, not realizing it, and then I'm like, wait, I'm drinking this.
So, yeah, I had, like, 2 or 3 shots from that get featured, actually, which is really cool. It's hard for me to get one picture from, like, a shoot featured, But, yeah, I think that was my best. And, like, I mean, obviously, they're going to get better as I go on, and every shoot that I have seems to, like, get progressively better. So, like, the best pictures I've gotten were from the last shoot that I had.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so, but before that, it was this shoot prior.
Yeah, I would say, like, the best pictures that I've gotten was the last one. And that's how it should be. Every time you shoot, you should be progressing, better, Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get. And, like, I see a lot of photographers not improving. And, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think maybe they're just stuck.
I think
or maybe they just don't have a lot of people to guide them.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. And, like, if you're listening to this, I'm going to, like, try, like, a photography clinic
Ooh.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It'll just be like a live thing, or we can like set up something at a studio or at my school. I don't know if you'd be interested in that. I'm gonna put something out on my Instagram about this soon. But like you can like comment in the video.
Yeah, I've always wondered like how do you edit your pictures? Like they're so
How
beautiful,
I
and you
edit
edit them
pictures?
fast too.
I do, and I think people have told me that.
But like when you're good at editing, you know how to do it fast though, you know?
Yeah, it's just it becomes like it's really
second
knowing,
nature.
Yeah, it's really just knowing the programs.
Yeah.
More than anything, I feel like. Although I will sit and look at a picture, like when I first sit down and get into Lightroom, I'll sit and look at this picture and I'm just like, I'll edit it 10 different ways and like until I finally figure out how I want the whole shoot to kind of feel.
Yeah.
But then I'll like do, if I like am gonna say like we were at that like those hedges when we the first time like location we shot was like those hedges like a corner. Like usually if I take like 6 shots there, I'll edit like 2 one way, 2 the other way, 2 the other way, depending on what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So like it's just the editing. It's so hard for me to find a style. And if you look through my Instagram, my like feed has changed through so many.
Yeah, I know that's me. Like I don't
styles.
have a theme, and I don't really
exactly.
have an aesthetic. And I follow these accounts that have beautiful themes, and I'm like,
gosh,
wow,
I
I
get so
wish I
jealous.
could restart my whole Instagram. But then people come up to me and they're like, oh my god, your feed is so cute. Like, how do you do it? And I'm just like, I just post whatever I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I guess my theme is just colorful, and that's it. Like, I don't know. As long as you have like a lot of good pictures, I don't think it really matters because people just pay attention of how good your pictures are.
Yeah, and all the time it's not even like the lightness, the darkness, the color.
Yeah,
it's
and
it's like your style. Of
and like sometimes like I know like friends that have like Instagrams and they're just like, I mean the pictures aren't like professional or whatever, but it's their feed still looks good because of the aesthetic of it. But so yeah, it doesn't really matter about the aesthetic of like your feed. It definitely matters when it comes to the actual post and the picture and like what are you getting from it, what are you trying to express to your audience.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of like modeling and photography. You have a message and you're trying to like express something through that picture. It's not just I don't know. Like some people kind of model for the wrong reasons. I feel like
we talked about that in the last podcast.
Oh yeah,
like,
okay.
There's a difference between people who want to like flex their beauty for Instagram,
yes, exactly.
and then people who want to make a living and like inspire people. And
exactly.
Start something.
Yeah, and like I honestly felt so bad about myself for the longest time because I just didn't know what I wanted to do or what was the right thing to do.
Right.
And I was in this like phase where I felt like no matter what I did, it was just gonna be wrong. Like what if I could be doing something else that's better? And I just kind of figured it out with modeling. Like I'm inspiring people and I'm making people feel confident about themselves. And that's all that matters, and that makes me feel calm and like I finally found my purpose at such a young age. And I think that's awesome because I wouldn't have figured that out without social media.
Exactly.
And and I think people have like that wrong stereotype about social media that it's bad, but if you use it for good, like you can really use it for good, you know?
And Alex can talk about this a lot because he does social media. I think it's part of his job. What for Alex? Like how do you use Instagram? Not as like how do you use not like Instagram, but social media for good, like for business and for networking and stuff like that. Like how have you found to like techniques to do that, or like how talk about it,
It's different right now than what I used to do. I used to just do parody accounts on Twitter. And,
and graphic design accounts and stuff like that.
But right now I'm working with an apartment complex, so that's a lot different. We really just run ads, so it doesn't really apply to. Well, I guess modeling you could run ads.
Yeah,
photography,
you can like promote yourself.
Okay,
So
I guess more like when you got your Nike internship, because Alex interned for Nike.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So did Instagram help you with that at all, or was that just your? I mean, Instagram in a sense is your portfolio.
Yeah, I put my Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's like my portfolio, and it gives me that exposure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for in Alex's case, like he had an amazing Instagram, still does at Lord Productions. He posts like really good work, and that becomes your portfolio. And if you can make it a business account, so you literally are doing it for business, but your Instagram and your social media become your portfolio. While I won't post every single picture I take on Instagram, I would love to, but I don't. It's still like a good place, and I've gotten I think like 4 or 5 freelance jobs just like from my Instagram page alone. like companies reaching out. So social media is a powerful tool, and that's,
oh
that's
yeah,
a whole
for sure.
discussion on its own. You know,
yeah,
we could go into that for hours, but
yeah. And there's still so much I want to learn about that.
I need to learn.
And and I think a lot of it is just through experience and time.
Of course.
You know, there's like people that try and like teach like new people that want to be influencers, you know, how to use social media, which is good, but like they're also charging so much. And I'm just like, if you really want to help someone, you wouldn't be so greedy, but at the same time I understand you need to make money, so it's like weird. It's like one of those weird situations. But it's like, if you really like want to learn how to use social media organically, you just got to do it yourself. That's how the other person did it, that's charging you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, so if they did it, like, so can you. And
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I keep thinking that, but at the same time I've been stuck at like 750 subscribers or followers for like so long.
Yeah.
I just want to like, get to 1,000.
Honestly, networking events, dude. Yeah. Networking events.
I'm gonna check some more of those out.
You have, yeah, you should.
A lot of them.
Yeah, if I see any in the near future, I'll definitely send those to you.
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
All right, do you have any more questions?
Yeah. So both of you guys, like, how do you feel about like finding job opportunities with what you guys do? Like, how do you find jobs and opportunities? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are worried about that, you know?
Yeah,
so,
I'm worried about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It can get frustrating because you know what you can do, and when they don't like come to you, it gets frustrating. But
yeah, definitely.
You just have to be patient, really.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So something I'll do, and I guess it's kind of annoying. No, it's what I do. Is so like I just worked for this watch company, Toro Luna watches. What I did, like, I'll get like an email. I'll find like a niche or whatever. Like, so they're all like target like watch companies or accessories or like glasses, you know.
Yeah.
So then I'll like comment or I'll send them DMs. I'll make this huge DM. It's like, oh, like how can I help promote your awesome watches? Make sure that seems personal, but it's like I'm sending it to like 50 companies, you know. Luckily, like with most of the jobs I've gotten, the first like 3 or 4 messages I've like sent, like at least one of those people have replied like right away, so I don't have to send all the 50. But so like I'll reach out and I'll like make basically an advertisement and link my website and stuff that I've done, and then like I instead of getting money a lot of the time, I've just like traded goods. Like I just got 2 free watches and like that was it for this company. But at the same time, that's gonna help me. Like I had like 3 DMs from different watch companies after they posted the video I made for them. And then so I worked for Eye Doctor in Indianapolis, and they gave me like a total of like $900. But that was just because they found my Instagram. Like I literally was looking through my Instagram during class today, and I posted one picture of an eye. That was it. That's all it took. I posted one picture of an eye, and they commented on the picture. They loved it, so like, I started working with them. And I made some videos and took some pictures, and they gave me like a good amount of money just for a little bit of work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So like basically, the way I find work is just solely through social media.
Yeah.
But I would 100% recommend business cards, websites, business cards.
Really? How do the business cards like play a role in that?
Well, you can like tell people all this stuff, tell people all this information, tell people what you can do. But if you give them a business card, they can like easily get to your website. Especially if your business card looks good, they're gonna
for sure.
What the website looks like, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, I get like business cards and stuff like that because at networking events, photographers always give you them, and it's so vital because like when you're trying to get like the pictures back, like you don't know their contact information, and so it's like if you want to work with them again, it's good to have those. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's just like sometimes I'll kind of get business cards and I never look at them ever again.
Exactly. And that's like where it comes in. They need to look good.
Yeah.
And business cards are weird because there's a couple guys that
I
just like will bring their business cards with them everywhere. Like, the first time I met them, just like at school, they greeted me with their business card, and I'm like, okay, I understand that you're like trying to make money or whatever, but like just be a human being.
You need to make the connection with someone before you give them a business card, so they can come back to you, or they can recommend you to their friends and stuff like that.
So I like have something to like.
It just irks me when people like come up to me and they just randomly give me their information. I'm just like, who are you? What do you do? Like, I'm not gonna look at this. Like connecting with people is such a huge part in this.
Like, any creative industry.
Yeah.
You know, like artists.
Any job, really. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one thing that I really want to talk about. Like, I really want to address.
Okay.
Like, okay, so I personally feel like it's really hard for like models to stand up for themselves, and I have this conversation with one of my great friends that's like my mentor, and she's an amazing model.
Yeah.
Her name's Christina Lamy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce her last name.
Oh, yes, yeah, I know.
Oh, she's amazing. Okay. But we had this conversation, and this was after that incident happened with that one guy that took forever to send me the pictures. Yeah. And, you know, she told me, like, you know, like, be careful about, like, what you say to them. You know, you want to be professional, but you also want to, like, stand up for yourself type of thing, because she told me, like, you don't want to get blacklisted, and you don't want them to tell other photographers, like, oh, don't work with her, like, she's such a bitch, you know?
Right, yeah.
And it's just like, but I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm trying to stand up for myself, and I'm trying to... Yeah, and I just feel like photographers can kind of get away with more of that, because they're the ones creating the pictures. They have more, I guess, a different sense of control and power, in a sense, in the industry, because they're the ones creating the image. But at the same time... Yes, exactly. And so, you know, I'm trying to break this thing where it's like models can't really stand up for themselves because they're afraid of getting their reputation ruined.
Yeah,
and
but that sucks a lot.
Yeah.
Because I like, the most important thing to me is, like, sure, I'll go out and I'll shoot and I'll have a vision. But I picked this model because I know that you have your own creative vision, you have your own mind, and so I want you to get out what you want.
Yeah.
So, like, and if you're a model that I've shot with or haven't shot with yet, and you're listening to this, please tell me if there's something you want to do, because I will try anything. You know, like, it's your project.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I totally get that. Like, photographers, they usually don't like it when models like kind of edit on top of their pictures. Especially when the photographer comes to you for their project. But I feel like as a model, if you go up to the photographer and you have a vision and they're creating the vision for you, like, you should be able to tell them how you want it to be edited and stuff like that. You know, like, they shouldn't take offense to that. It's one of those weird things, you know. And like, I just think that models just really need to stand up for themselves more. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not trying to create problems out of thin air. Like, no. I want this to go smoothly. I want to make more friendships. Like, I don't want to create beef just because. You know, if you're going to give me shit, I'm going to give you shit, like, 10 times harder. Like, you don't mess with me, you know? Okay. Like, you don't mess with people. Like, you know, it's just, like, this industry is a lot of fun. I'll admit. It's amazing when you're doing what you love, but there's always going to be incidents, like, no matter what you're doing, you know? But especially in this industry, like, there's going to be incidences where you're going to, like, clash with someone. Yeah, and that's not even just this industry. That's and so that can suck. Now. But I don't want people to be afraid of that, you know? I don't want people to be afraid of their reputation getting ruined, quote unquote, you know? Yeah. So. And something to think about is everyone's a photographer now. Like, you don't need to for sure. People take pictures on their iPhone and they call themselves a photographer. I'm like, girl, get out. Sit down. We had I think the last podcast is called, like, exposing fake photographers. Like, but, like, where I was going with that is, like, so if you ruin your reputation with, like, one photographer, it's not the end of the world. Sure, you might have a few friends. But as more and more people are getting there's a whole world out there. You're gonna meet more people, and not everyone's a dick. Like, I like to think that I'm one of the nicer people you'll shoot with. Oh yeah, for sure. And like, you're super awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. But like, it's for me, it's like when I meet someone that's like an asshole and won't like let their model create at all or help at all. That frustrates me. That really does. Yeah, I know. Why would you be reaching out to them if you didn't care about what they had to say? That means you're just treating them like an object, and that shows your true colors. Yes. You know? Yeah. And like, I just feel like photographers have it so easy sometimes with that, because if someone kind of comes across as, you know, not the nicest person in the world just because they're irritated, like really irritated, and they have a valid reason for it, and you feel kind of offended, or if you like feel personally attacked, like, they can just like ruin your whole life, kind of thing. Like, they they won't really ruin your whole life, but they try. Which, like, even if I get in an argument, or if a model is like completely like rude to me or whatever, like, sure, I'll tell my friends that they were rude, but I would never like go out of my way to like try to like
ruin.
Yeah, exactly. There's some
like,
vicious people out there.
Yeah, like sure, you don't like me, whatever. Like that's fine. I get it. Like,
yeah, like there was this girl that just kind of edited this guy's picture, and I don't know the background story of it, you know, like I don't know if he told her specifically, hey, not to edit these pictures, but you know, she kind of did. And then he got really mad about it. He didn't even talk to her. He just posted one of the worst pictures that he took from that shoot of her, which wasn't even that bad, but you can tell it wasn't her best work, you know. And like he just posted that of her on his Instagram, on his portfolio. So I'm just like, okay, you're kind of making yourself look stupid,
bad,
but it's like, you really want to be that petty to like exploit someone that way? Like,
so there's things like that. Like as a photographer, there's things that will like kind of get to us. So like when people edit on top of my pictures, like yeah, it's frustrating because I'll spend. Like,
I mean, hey, if I'm a photographer and you edit it and it actually looks good, I wouldn't mind.
I'll definitely tell you if it looks good.
Yeah, but or you know what, with me, like if I want something to be edited, I'll ask the photographer themselves, like, hey, can you actually do this? And if not, hey, that's cool. I just kind of won't post it. Yeah. But if I really like that image and I tell you my idea, or if I do it myself and I know how to do it, I'll send it to you first before I post it. I think that's the smartest way to do it.
Yeah, because then I get like offended. Like, okay, did you not like my edit? I wish you'd just tell me that instead of wasting all this time editing that picture. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then that kind of makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Because if the picture just looks bad,
you know, and like the edit is most, like something that people don't understand is the edit is so important.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
that's when my photography kind of like got better, you know.
Yeah, for sure. It makes it look so much more professional and just well done, and it looks like an art.
Yeah, and
it looks like a piece.
Overdo it, because that's how you find your style. Like, sure, it comes from the composition and the way you compensate exposure and your camera, but there's so much you can do in editing software that will like make your picture stand out. Like I can pick. Like, you know who Brandon Wolfel is?
No, I don't think so.
All those neon lights and stuff like that.
No, but I know another guy, Matt. I don't know. I think his username's like Flow Photography or something like that. I worked with him once, but
he does like you can tell a photographer is a photographer because of the way
yeah, for sure. Was it you or was it someone else? Like I can't remember who posted the picture, but like it was like this girl just kind of like walking, and then they like in post like the final image, like it was just like underwater. I was like, that was you. Yeah, that was you. I was like, holy crap, like that looks so different. It looks so, oh my god, like that looks like an art. And you know that's the difference with like professional pictures and professional looking pictures. Like it just looks like a nice portrait, and then there's like a picture that tells a story.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to make the transition.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then like another thing that will kind of bother photographers is photo cred.
Oh no, I always give them credit.
Which most people are pretty good about it. I've had some people like forget, and okay, so here's the thing. I've heard that people have gone like off on people for forgetting. You know, like and it's
not that big of a deal. Just let them know, like, hey, tag
like,
me.
I'll just send them a text.
You don't need to go off. Like there's like, you know, with me, like I'll go off when I know I need to go off, but like.
But there's some places it's like it's fine. Calm down. Like, you can if anything tag yourself in the comments. I've done
I know.
That before, you know, which is it's kind of petty, but and like passive aggressive. But then it's passive, you know, like you're not going off on somebody. You know? And that will just make you look bad.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that's like passive or like petty. I just think you're just letting people know, like, oh yeah, by the way, I took this. Like, hit me up, you know.
And a lot of times, if you just do something like that, they're like, okay, let me like actually tag them. So I have to do that. Because if you. I think at least nowadays, if you don't tag somebody in a picture, you look bad. You look like
it's just like, who took this picture? I know you didn't use a timer, you know.
Early days as being a model, what your strategies were for like overcoming like insecurities? If you had any at all?
Yeah. Everyone has like a different story, and everyone has their own insecurities, and sometimes they have the same insecurities as other people, you know. And I feel like with me, how I overcame mine, you know, with the people that like I just kind of surrounded myself with, people that already did overcome their insecurities, I kind of looked up to them, and they just looked genuinely happy. And at a certain point, you just kind of get tired of just being insecure, and you get tired of being in the shell and being afraid to express yourself and miss out on all of these opportunities just because you're afraid of how you look.
Yeah.
It's not that you're afraid of how other people think of you. It's you're afraid of yourself.
The way that you think
yeah.
of yourself.
Yeah. And at a certain point, I just got tired of feeling that way. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to start living.
Yeah.
Because I feel like happiness starts when you're confident. Maybe you don't have to be the most confident person in the world. You don't have to think like, oh, I'm so fine. Like, I'm so hot. Like, honestly, just like accept who you are and be comfortable. Like, yeah, you can always improve yourself. You can always improve your body. But in that process, you should accept yourself, because there is only just one you, and no one can be you, and that's awesome. That's amazing. Nobody else is you. Like, you have this power to influence society, and you have the power to influence style and fashion and even like politics and stuff like that. Like, you can use that platform to influence other people because no one else is you. And you can share new ideas. You can share just like anything about you when you're finally confident. It's not about, confidence isn't about just trying to think that you're hot. Confidence is, I can do anything. And I feel like people need to feel that way. Nobody deserves to not feel that way. Right. And when I finally felt confident in myself, I just knew that I needed to make other people that way too. Like, I needed to help people feel confident in themselves, because that's when you're happy.
Yeah, and
honestly,
you've been helped by like these influential people. So
and
you know how much that helped you. So you and as like a good person, you're like, okay, I want to help people as well.
Yeah,
I was helped.
Yeah,
so that's definitely like a good way to look at it, and it just makes you seem like a good person, like you have like good morals, and you want to use what you have in your talents for like good,
of course,
for a good message.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So my Instagram is at Reese Louise Myers. Oh my god, I hate saying my Snapchat username because I made that shit in like middle school. It's like Reese Poo Myers because everyone calls me Reese Poo. Everyone calls me Reese Poo, and I don't understand why. And Reese Myers was already taken, so I hate you, whoever has the username Reese Myers. I hate you. But yeah, it's Reese Poo Myers, IE at the end of Reese. I mean, that's like basically the two most social medias I use. I mean, I use Twitter, but like that's where I put my feelings, and I don't. And like I'm weird on Twitter, so I'm just like, I mean, if you want to follow me, you can. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna like showcase my Twitter.
All right, and of course, our social medias, mine and Alex's, will be in the description. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. And I will be breaking this up into highlights so you don't have to suffer through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much for listening, and if you would like to join the podcast next time, make sure to send me a message on Instagram, reply to this video or comment on this video, and I would love to have you on. So thank you guys if you made it this far, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.